If you were told that you had only one day left to live, would you be happy with what you've done with your life? Sit with that for a second, because I've had to. In this episode, I will take you through a season that changed my perspective towards certain things in life in order for me to take charge. I'm your host, Tinashe Moyo, and this is Stride. This podcast is about taking bold first steps, the ones that take us through the dark moments, into the brighter days, and all the way up to the moments of clarity. Thank you guys for tuning in. It really means a lot. Now, I've been MIA, but I'm back on the scene. Again, I don't know how many times I've made comebacks, but I'm praying and hoping that this is for real this time. So I last released episodes in March, and I'd actually made a decent comeback. And I had told myself that from February right on, I would be consistent. But, life got in the way. And yeah, I got really stressed out in the month of March. And, I was stressed out to the point where I didn't really have the energy to sit in front of the camera and just talk to you guys about my own certain experiences. So what I went through is actually something that I'd be open to sharing in a different episode in the near future. But while I was still struggling mentally, I ended up opting to go for therapy, and I actually went for 2 therapy sessions, and therapy was really helpful. Now, I just want to help the next person that's watching this video episode, whatever it is. There's this stigmatization in regards to therapy that men do not need therapy. Men do not need to go to therapy. Therapy is super important. I do not want to blow my own horn, but the therapist that I saw, who is an amazing individual, if I must say, she said that she actually condones the fact that I took the step to get into therapy, because not many men choose to go to therapy. But I just want to advise someone like, if you've got problems, go for therapy. Or if you've got a trusted source, you've got a close friend, you can share whatever it is your struggles with, please go and talk to your friends, talk to someone, because bottling things inside is not a good thing. So anyways, therapy really did something for me. Now, by going to therapy, that doesn't mean that everything in life has been solved, because it hasn't been. But for that particular thing that I decided to attend therapy for, to a larger extent, I got helped. So I'm really thankful for that. So that was actually in March. And so from March into April, we got to April 15th, which was actually my birthday, and I turned 37. Man, I'm getting old. I feel myself slowly turning black and white. But anyways, I was really happy to turn 37 years old. Yeah, it feels like we're going there. Life begins at 40. I'm literally looking at 40 right now. But I was glad that I got another chance to get to 37 and you start seeing things from different perspectives. And, you know, man, once you're at 37, you start asking yourself, like, what have I, you know, it just happens. It's human nature. Like, what have I really done with my life, you know? And that's a difficult question to ask, especially yourself. So I would also advise the person watching this video, you know, ask yourself, like, what is it that you've actually done with your life? Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's simply asking yourself, like, okay, with where I am now, what exactly have I done? Try and find answers like, okay, maybe there's this, there's that, there's that. What is that one thing that you still need to do? So that was one question I was asking myself, like, okay, yes, at 37, I go to work, you know, you get a salary, you're able to do certain things for the family, parents, for yourself, you know, good things. But then I'm just like, there's just this one thing, you know, that I'm really missing out on. So yeah, I was just like, like we all have a purpose in life. So I was just thinking to myself, like, what's my true purpose in life? And, you know, our answers are literally right in front of us. And I was just like, man, my purpose is this podcast, to share my authentic experiences with you guys so that you can at least get, I don't know, whatever it is, advice or help through me sharing my stories. So I was just like, yeah, that's like one thing I really need to put focus on. But I've not been consistent with this podcast. I think I've said this numerous times. So I was just like, yeah, I think that's one thing that I really need to zone in on. But then again, sometimes you might think you've figured everything out, like, okay, yes, I know my purpose, so I have to zone in. But yeah, it's one thing being able to figure things out, but then it's also another thing putting things into action, you know? So I was just like, yeah, all right, I'll see to it. But I mean, guess what? Some of the reasons why I do not, you know, put episodes out consistently, it's because I tend to overthink too much. Like, I don't want to mess up. If I've scripted an episode, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to skip a beat. I want to make sure everything is in sync. And now, guess what? I last released in April. We're in July. I've been planning this episode since, man, I don't know, May. So yeah, that sucks. But anyways, I was thankful that I got to know that this is one thing that I really need to put my major focus on. So regardless of that, I was still happy. In April, I turned 37. And then, you know, come May, on May 6th, a dark cloud just came upon my life. You know, I lost someone who was really, really special to me, someone who was really close to me, someone who I was really close to, cousin, sister. She was a best friend. Man, everything you can imagine. And this person was only 23 years old. Now, I can't share the name of this person due to, you know, privacy and all of that. But I lost someone who was very close to my heart, and it was really, really painful. Even to this day, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that she's no longer here, and she lost her life at 23. You know, that's the toughest thing to imagine. Like, this person had goals She had ambitions. She would always tell me about her crazy plans. And I was just like, yo, this person is actually going to go far in life. But she lost her life at 23. And man, that was a tough pill to swallow. So it was tough to navigate that whole scenario, going to the funeral, the burial, like literally seeing people, at the graveside, putting sand on top of the coffin, like this is actually real. This is actually happening. We're never going to see this person again. I was like, man, it still feels like yesterday, but I was just like, you know what? When I look at the other side of things, when I would hear like some of the relatives talking about her life, she was one person who lived her life to the fullest. She enjoyed herself as much as she could. Anything she put her mind to, if she wanted to buy something, if she wanted to go somewhere, she would never think twice. She would just do it, And that's when I was just like, when I look back at how she lived her life, there were certain things that she would do that I would not entirely agree with. Obviously, as human beings, we're different, right? But still, the fact still remains that she was able to do what she wanted to do. And when I looked at her life, I was just like, oh, I think that's probably my cue. Yes, we have certain feelings towards certain things. Sometimes I don't feel like recording here, like I said, because I don't want to miss a step. But then sometimes if you listen to a feeling, that feeling is going to tell you not to do it until you feel like it. But the idea, like how my sister lived her life, you just have to do the things that you want while you can. That's pretty much what I've learned from her death. It's still painful every time I think about it, every time I talk about it, like here. It's still painful to get through. But then the idea is simply, man, just live out loud, especially if it's something that doesn't hurt you, something that doesn't put you in a tough space. I think I once had a guest who actually spoke about pretty much the same thing. Like if you see something, if you have an idea, like just go for it. So that was, her death, in as much as it was painful, it really changed my perspective on life, because there are so many things that I neglect, so many things that I slack on. This podcast, visiting people, talking to people, doing some other things, different things, so many things that I neglect, but I still have the chance. I can still walk. I remember Rain, another former guest on this podcast, who's also a really good friend of mine. There was a part he actually said, I'm thankful that I can see, I can talk, I can breathe, I can walk, everything. We can do everything, So we still have the chance to do the things that we're meant to do in life. So that was the key takeaway that I took from my little sister's death. So, man, it's tough talking about it, but I just felt like, yeah, I didn't even feel like recording this episode today, but I was just like, nah, you know what? While I still have the chance to speak, to sit, to look directly into the camera, which is something some people cannot do, I just got to take the chance, man. And so should you. So, I really hope this episode has helped you so much as much as, talking about it did for me. So whatever it is, that idea, that conversation, that phone call, that visit, go ahead, take that first step, and let's see how it goes, because we can only learn through our actions. So this is all that I had for you today. And, I promised myself that I want to try and move away from perfection and just be spontaneous, especially when I'm on the camera. So whether this delivery was not perfect, it doesn't matter. As long as my message is clear, that's all that matters. So yeah, then again, whatever it is, go ahead and take that first step, and let's just see how it goes. If you enjoyed this episode, go check out all the other episodes that I've that I've done before, that they can actually help you out. Also, I'd actually forgotten about something when I spoke about therapy. I would like you guys to check out this link that I've attached. It's a short film that was done by this girl called Lerato, the creator. I recently met her at Zumba classes. Simas Aigo. It, merely talks about, the movie is called Silent Echoes. Sorry, the things I just mumbled up. But, if you don't like me mumbling up, just go watch the video. But it's pretty much a short film based on the idea of not, keeping things to ourselves, but just, sharing with other people. But I mean, if you go watch the video, you won't really have to struggle to understand exactly what I'm saying. So go watch that short film. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. And I will see you in the next one.